Hello lads and ladies, and welcome to this and welcome back for another video on the channel. Today we are here to review Sky Bet League One, answer a few of your guys' questions regarding everything on Sky Bet League One, whether that be the first 6 games of the season, January transfer window talk already. We've just had the last transfer window to talk about, or as well, the table so far, what's going to happen in the next few weeks, predictions maybe for certain games as well. I put it out on my Twitter and my Instagram, so this might become a regular thing. If you want to, subscribe to the channel for more League One content. We do live streams, we do vlogs, we do everything of Sky Bet League One. And once a month, we're going to sit down here and talk about the division as a whole. Let's get into the video. On Instagram, we got asked a few questions over there. A couple of simple ones. Favourite Wigan Athletic player? For me, it's got to be Callum Lang. I like his versatility. I like players with pace, power, players that want to be at certain football clubs, players that give their all, players who score goals, get fans off the edge of the seat. And Callum Lang, every time I watch him, whether it's against Fleetwood or for Wigan against another football club, because I do watch the division as a whole and try and watch as many games as across the 24 teams as I can each season for these videos and streams. He's certainly the one that does that. Hasn't started too brilliantly this season in terms of goals or assists, but if you actually watch his performances, he's been captain a couple of times as well. He's actually been really good in games, in my opinion. He's just not got the goals or assists that he might have had 2-3 seasons ago in this division. Next up, what do you think of our new manager? Regarding Lee Johnson to Fleetwood, thank you for the question. Obviously, we did upload a video if you want to go and check that one out. But I thought it was a good appointment overall. I thought, look, there's going to be stick over his time at Sunderland and Hibs. A lot of Bristol City fans came in and said he did a good job there. Barnsley, their ups and downs. He actually got to a JPT final with them. He's won the competition with Sunderland. He actually knocked Fleetwood out of it in the semi-finals, actually, if a few Fleetwood fans remember that one, on penalties. I think both games were 1-1, and Ash Hunter actually, I think, scored in both legs, actually, for Fleetwood. So, I think it's a good appointment. I think it's an improvement on Scott Brown. We needed a bit of experience. If he's streaky, we need a couple of wins to get us out of that bottom four. Do I think he's going to be here in 2 years' time? I don't. I realistically don't. That's the reality of football. But it's a good appointment for the time being. I wanted Carl Robinson badly. If Carl Robinson was never mentioned to us and we got Lee Johnson, I'd have been absolutely buzzing. But it kind of feels like the show, look what you could have had. That's what it kind of feels like. And Lee Johnson is what we've got, and I'm relatively happy. Chances of Wickham making the playoffs, I think they've got an absolute brilliant chance. They've been on decent form just before the international break. They've got a few wins, and they've gone back to basics, Wickham, I feel like they've lowered the possession, lowered the amount of passes, lowered the amount of shots on goal. And normally you think, well, they struggle, but Wickham have, I think they only had, one shot the other week and won 1-0 at Northampton. They edged out a win at Bristol Rovers. They beat, I think it was Leyton Orient at home, didn't they? And got a decent point against Burton. So they'll be disappointed that they haven't got 12 out of the last 12, but 10 out of 12 in the last 4 games is a relatively good result. And Bloomfield's grown on me. I didn't really rate him at first. I thought the change philosophy in February, March, when you've got 12 games to go and you potentially win 7 of them and you're in the playoffs, I think it was kind of a daft idea. But I think overall, over the long-term vision he's got for the football club, it's going to be hard. And I actually compared it to similar to Man United replacing Alex Ferguson at United. I know that sounds weird, the Wickham. Gareth Ainsworth's been at that football club, for a number of years and built them up from League 2, League 1, Championship. Well, unlucky to go down in the Championship, by the way. Had a flirt with the playoffs the year before, beat MK Dons over 2 legs, lost to Sunderland, who are Sunderland and bigger budget than Wickham by at least 5 times, let's be honest. And again, last season still finished in the top 10. So I think they'll do all right next year, Wickham. Fleetwood are going down. That's from my mate Alfie, who's a Lincoln fan. Thanks for that, Alfie. Not a question, but I thought I'd include you. Who do you think the best player in Sky Bet League One is? Now, I've not looked at a lot of these questions and I've not thought about this. I wanted it to be off my mind, really. But when I look at the best player, I like players who score goals. I like players who are a pain to play against. He's probably not the best player, but the most effective player, in my opinion, in Sky Bet League One. At this moment in time, is Alfie May because he scores goals, he gets assists, he links others into play. He scored, over 20 goals last season, over 20 goals the season before. And this is for Cheltenham. And now he's at Charlton, 4 goals in his last 3. I like your Johnson Clark Harrises. I like Colby Bishops. I like those types of players. I don't think we've got as many star players as we had last year in the Connor Chaplins, the Barry Bannons, those types of players. But I think we've got a more consistent basis of League One footballers at this moment in time. What's your thoughts on Stevenage? Asks Luca. Luca is an MK Dons fan. This season, do you think they have a chance to get promoted? Why not? Steve Evans knows, League One and League Two. I don't think Stevenage will go up. I do think they might slip off a little bit, but I see Stevenage finishing in the top 12. I really do. And they've got a really good squad there. They've got a really good momentum building. The players are fighting for the badge. The first goal has got to be 50 points. Then you build and anything from there. But every point they get is a good point at this moment in time. And Steve Evans is kind of hot property right now. We look at him 2 years ago at Christmas with Gillingham. He might not have been, but Stevenage gave him a chance. He's given Stevenage a chance. On to Twitter now. From the table as it is now, which team do you think will finish the highest from where they are now and the lowest? So what he means by that is which team is going to rise the most and which team is going to drop down the most. I think that is what he's meaning. He's gone for Wigan, and I probably have to agree with that. I think Wigan will rise the most. I really do believe that. I think Wigan will be in the top 12. I put them 13th at the start of the season. I kind of think that they've had 2 poor results of late, but they happen. They've lost to Barnsley and Blackpool, and they're 2 sides you'd fancy to be in the top 10, top 6 maybe themselves. So I think there's no shame in that, and I do agree with his Exeter shout as well. I think Exeter, currently flying high, in the upper halves of the division. So I'll probably go for them too. I'm not just saying them because you've said that, but Wigan and Exeter for me. Luke, a brilliant question. Any idea on the formation that Fleetwood will be playing under Lee Johnson? I believe he's played a lot. He's played a back 3. He's played 4-3-3. I think Fleetwood will stick to a back 3 because of the capabilities. We haven't got a left back. Now, you could play Josh Hill there, but I think he's totally wasted at left back. He's a centre-half by trade. I know he played left wing back for Preston and did it all right, but left centre-half. I know he prefers it. He said he likes coming out with the ball, dominating the box, and it's worked well for him. What date will Fleetwood be relegated by? Asked Daniel, a Blackpool fan. Daniel, hopefully we can last till at least March. But no, I honestly believe if Fleetwood get out the bottom 4 at any given time, I think Fleetwood won't go back into the bottom 4. I think the squad is good enough. It's just lost its way in the last few weeks. What formation would you like to see Fleetwood play? Asked Jacob. I'd like a back 4, Jacob, as you know, as we always have a chat about this. But I think the squad limits us. We haven't really got a left foot. Adam Montgomery's obviously injured at this moment in time. And you could put Junior there. You could put Josh Hill there. You could put a number of players there. I just think that we've only had 1 left back, Danny Andrew. We've had a couple, maybe a loan, Nadaba, who came in on loan. But we've only had 1 permanent left back since the last 5 years, really. It's a position that Fleetwood really need to strengthen in. Where do you think Portsmouth will finish? I honestly believe they'll finish in the top 2. They've got goal scorers in Sayedi and Bishop. Yengi have been scoring goals as well. The midfield is really good. Morel, Pack, those types of players as well. I think sometimes they lack a bit of creativity in games, but I think as the season goes on, they'll be able to edge out that 1-0 win, edge out that 2-0 win, instead of drawing a 0-0. So I think that that League One podcast could be in trouble by the end of the season. Who do you think will finish top goal scorer? I think Colby Bishop. I think he will fire Portsmouth to promotion. I think he'll score over 20 goals. I think he'll have to score 24 goals this season or more to be the leading goal scorer. And Colby Bishop's already got 4 already as well. So I think it's really doable. And Colby Bishop is a goal scorer. He wears the magic hat, and he scored with his left foot, his right foot, a header, penalties. And I think with Portsmouth creating so many chances for him, the reality is he's going to score a lot more goals. I think Johnson Clark-Harris is a good shout, but obviously, is he going to play that much? Will he be transferred in the January transfer window out of League One? Alfie May, similar. I kind of think Alfie May will stay in League One. Colby Bishop will stay in League One, but I think Alfie May won't get as many chances as Colby Bishop will be. But I think Alfie May, per opportunity, will score more goals, if you get in my meaning. Who do you think is really running the football club, meaning Fleetwood Town? It is Steve Kerwood, Will Watt at the moment, two kind of directors that have interim chairmen. I don't know what's going on at Fleetwood, so I can't really comment, but I think something's needed to be said sooner rather than later. As soon as it gets sorted, I think Fleetwood will be in a better place for it. Kyle, Port Vale FC. Port Vale doing really well at the moment as well. Do you reckon Port Vale can keep up this good form for a bit longer, as in the performances, stay consistent all season? Where did you see us finishing all in the league? I reckon Port Vale will stay consistent. I think they'll build from last year. They've done really well in the transfer window. They didn't start too well in the transfer window early on, and I had them for that. But signings of Connor Ripley, Ethan Chislett, I really like as well. Loft from Bristol Rovers as well. They've signed really, really well. I like Divine from Spurs as well. I watched him a lot. From being at Spurs, obviously came from Wigan originally as well. So again, I think it's a really good squad. Again, Crosby has done a really good job proving me wrong. I thought he could be the first to get sacked after the Barnsley defeat and after the fixtures they had. They had Reading, they've had Blackpool, they've had really, really tough fixtures. Oxford away as well, and Carlisle at home is a difficult team to play against. I do think Port Vale will be in the top 12 at this moment in time. Performances won't stay consistent. I think every team in the league, bar the team that maybe wins the league, but you never know, will go on a 5-game bad run. And I say this every year, that every team does it. Port Vale are having a 5-game good run at the moment. I do think that will come, but Port Vale will be fine. We'll finish in that top 12. So if they stay consistent long enough, I get what you mean. After the season early table, who is your prediction for the top 2 and the bottom 2? I believe Bolton will win the league. I said that when I watched them. I know they've had a bit of a shaky few weeks after that, since drawing to Burton and losing to Wigan, but they still started off really well, which is good for them. I think Portsmouth will be second. I think the bottom 2, I think Cheltenham will go down. I really do believe that, and I think I don't know from I don't want to say Fleetwood, because I think Fleetwood will get out of it. I'm looking at teams like a Leyton Orient. I think they'll probably go with Leyton Orient because they're struggling to score goals. They're conceding a lot of goals. 3-0 at home to Stevenage, 4-0 at home to Portsmouth. They conceded 3 away at Wickham. I'll probably go for Leyton Orient, but a great result at Exeter at the weekend. So it can all change, but if I had to go quick fire, Leyton Orient. How do you think Bristol Rovers missing out on Johnson Clark-Harris will affect on their overall season? I think it's massive. I think you'll finish, if you don't get him in between now and January, I think you're going to be 7 or 8 points short. Now, that 7 or 8 points short is probably the difference between being 6th and 13th or 14th in the table, and it kind of sets the tone. If you're in that area, you double your points. It's 14 or 15 points, 16 points at the end of the season, and that's the difference. 60 points gets you 12th last year. Fleetwood finished 13th with 58. 75 points would get you into the top 6. It should do, realistically. So I think it could have a huge impact. I kind of think that maybe you might miss out on him on January as well. So I don't think you're going to get him at a reduced rate, believe me. Thoughts on Barnsley's up and down start? I kind of expected it. When you lose Kitchen, you lose Anderson, you lose Duff, you've lost your 2 cogs of a back 3, you've lost your goalkeeper as well. and you've lost your manager, it was always going to be a difficult start. So I kind of think a 7-0 result against Port Vale was an excellent result. Winning away at Wigan was a good result as well. And you kind of started off picking up these good results again. So I think that he's overall good. Remember, Barnsley didn't start off too well last year either. They were flirting with the playoffs, but again, they had to go on a really good run from January onwards to get into the playoffs. So, Barnsley are always brilliant starters. A season a few years ago where they went up, they went on this unbelievable run from Christmas. So, we're only 6 games in. At the moment, it's form. Read the table in 10 games' time. That's, 15 games. It's a third of the way through the season. You're approaching Christmas. The pitches are a bit more dry and a bit more bobbly, so I think you can kind of see the difference in class on teams there. What's going wrong at Charlton? The ownership hasn't helped. You brought a lot of players into the football club, getting injuries. Obviously, you've sacked Dean Holden, you brought Michael Appleton in. And I don't know why it just screams that Michael Appleton's been at Charlton before. I know he hasn't, but I think it's a good appointment and I think it suits Charlton. So I think that you need to give managers time. I think you need to let the players gel. Get Kamara, get Fraser back on that pitch because they are your creative players. And as soon as you do that, I think you'll be fine. What is my thoughts so far on the Sky Bet League One season? Any surprises or shocks? I'm surprised how well Stevenage have reacted to bringing so many new players, a new league for them. Obviously, I knew they had quality. I always thought they'd stay up. But again, I'm really surprised at that. I think League One has been really competitive. I kind of see that already. You've got Carlisle settling into the League One really well as well. You've got new teams at the bottom as well. That Fleetwood finished 13th last year, the 10 places below. Cheltenham stayed up quite comfortably. Burton stayed up quite comfortably. Are all on the bottom 4 as well. I think the new teams have added something. I think obviously Reading, you don't know what you're going to get from them. Blackpool again, a lot of clean sheets, but again need goals in their team as well. Wickham started slow but come good. Lincoln look really good. Oxford are on fire. Portsmouth don't look like conceding a goal ever, and it's really, really good at this moment in time. I'm looking at teams like Bolton that are playing good football. Wigan again, off to an absolute flyer, beating Derby and Bolton away. So League One is a mad league, and I just want a normal day in Sky Bet League One. So, but a good start, and there's still 40 games to go. So again, if you've enjoyed this Q&A, let me know in the comment section below. And again, we will do more of this, a more relaxed style of video as well. I could just come on, speak to you guys. And again, League One. So go and follow me on Twitter and Instagram where these questions will be posted as well. Again, subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 12,000 subscribers as well. And again, it's massively appreciated. So hopefully that, again, you're enjoying this League One content. I enjoy making it. We do streams, we do videos, we do vlogs, we do everything regarding League One. And until next time, guys, I will see you later. A big over and out, up the Sky Bet League One as we go in to the second part of the season, because I always look at it in chunks. International break part 1. I split it up into about 8 parts. We're in part 2 now, which already we're coming up to the quarter way of the League One season. That is absolutely mental. And I cannot wait. Pure football, pure drama, pure tears, and pure, well, I would say fun, but Fleetwood aren't very fun at the moment. Thanks for watching.